It has been forever since I made a video, and I feel really guilty about that because I promised I was going to do this. I made a commitment to attempt to do YouTube videos and to share things with you guys and whoever you guys are. And to be honest, the month of August became kind of an overwhelming month, and I just really didn't want to make videos. I think I maybe posted my last one during everything that was going on, which is probably why I was kind of emotional in it and why the subject matter kind of got to me extra. But I thought I'd hop on here. And even though I've shared this story on Facebook, I thought it would be good to kind of just share with everyone what was going on so that you could just kind of understand where I was last month. So luckily I can smile about everything now, and there's a happy ending and everything like that, or at least so far. So anyway, so everything kind of got out of hand last month. I started back at work on the 31st, but my story sort of started the week before that. So let's see, the 31st was like the 26th. Maybe, I don't know, the Friday before. The Friday before, I went to my doctor because I had gotten up that morning and I had to take my kids to band. I'd been taking them to band all summer, it seemed. And so I was taking my older kids to band, and on the way there, my chest started hurting. Now, typically this wouldn't be a big deal, and I would have just shrugged it off and assumed that I had hurt myself somehow, but throughout the summer, I had been experiencing this weird chest pain situation. The first time it happened was early in July, I think. And I had just come up to our room and I was going to change to go to the store with my husband. And I felt this horrible, like I got kicked in the chest. It hurt so bad. It was like excruciating pain all around the middle of my chest, like in my sternum area, and radiating out. And it hurt bad enough that I had to sit down. I had huge tears pouring out of my eyes. And I was just like, oh my gosh, I don't know what is going on. And it lasted for a good minute or two. Like, it wasn't something that just like hit me and then left. It was like something that happened, and it took me a bit to recover. And even after it subsided, it didn't fully stop. Like, I still had lingering pain, so it was really frustrating. And that happened a few more times. So that Friday that I was taking my kids to school for band practice, it happened again, and I was like, gosh darn it, like, okay, I'm done. And since it was early enough that the doctor's office hadn't opened, I thought, well, let's call and see what we can do. So I called, and they got me in pretty quickly. Like, within a couple of hours, I was in, and they hooked me up to do an EKG. And so what is that, an echocardiogram? I don't know, EKG. What is that, guys? Electric something, I don't know. It's to monitor your heart. And so they did that. And can I just tell you that all those little things that they stick on you are super annoying. But the EKG was normal-ish, but you know, it shows your heartbeat, but it also has like a baseline area. And on my baseline that day, there was like an extra little flicker. And because of that, they were kind of like, maybe we should set you up with a cardiologist just to have you checked, because this could be a sign of tissue damage in your heart. And I thought, what? And like, in my mind, I'm like, what if that day when it was so bad that I like couldn't stand up anymore and I was crying in my closet, what if that was something and something happened? I also had considered the fact that I had strep so much growing up, and clear until we moved here, I had strep throat like mad crazy. I couldn't help but wonder if maybe like I had gotten if the infection had like damaged my heart some. It could happen. These are things that could happen. So, okay, let's set up this and see what's going on. A little bit nervous. I have heart issues in my family, you know, and so in the back of my mind, I'm thinking about that and just being like, surely this is nothing and it'll all be okay. But because it's my heart or because it's my chest, the doctor said, if this happens again, you have to go to the ER. And I'm like, yeah, okay, whatever. I'm not a fan of the ER. So that was on the Friday. The following week, Monday was my son's birthday. And so I had to run to work for a little bit, but then I came back and we did a little bit of something. And then we took him and he stayed the night at his friend's house because I had to go to work for the first day of our school on the 31st. So that was a Tuesday. So I got up to go to work. My chest is killing me. Like legit, I was uncomfortable. And I thought, it's not that bad, really. It'll be okay. And I just kind of was trying to just deal with it because I was not going to call off on my first day. And so I go to work and I'm just muddling through the day. I got to lunch and I was like, okay, it still hurts. It's not getting better. I'm going to call the doctor. So I called and of course they told me, well, you need to go to the ER. You have to go, like go to the ER. And I'm like, well, I'm at work. I will be here until my day is over. So I had decided that if I was still able to stand, I would stay at work. So I did. I was able to get through the day. I hurt the whole time I was there, but I just wanted to get through my first day and figured it's probably going to be nothing. So I just didn't want to not be there. Plus girl needs a paycheck, right? So I was like just getting through. So as soon as I was done, my husband met me at home and we went straight to the ER. When we got to the ER, they did an EKG. They set me up with heart monitoring. They did blood tests because the blood test could show if I was having any clotting somewhere because, you could throw a clot and it could cause random pain in different parts of your body. And then they finally were like, let's do a chest x-ray because what if it's like pleurisy or something? Like it can mimic these same symptoms. So whatever. We were there forever. Like it was a long night at the ER and I honestly didn't feel good and I didn't really want to get any pain meds because I hate taking pain meds. And I kept telling them that so they could understand, like, I wasn't there seeking drugs. I hate that. That's something that you have to worry about. But I know there are people out there who do that. So I was just constantly like, you guys don't understand. I don't want drugs. I don't want drugs. I just want it to not hurt. So while we were there, we had all those tests done. My EKG was normal. The heart monitor situation was normal. My blood tests were not showing any signs of anything, and the chest x-ray was the only thing that came back with anything, and they said I needed to get it checked out because there was like a nodule that showed up in one of my lungs, and I was just like, oh, okay, like what? And I'm just like, that's not why, like I couldn't understand like what that had to do with anything. So that was on the 31st. I didn't talk to my doctor again, and I think I talked to him the next day, and they set up they got the referral set up so I could get a CT scan of my lung within that week. And I was like, well, I really would like to be able to do this like on Saturday or after school, and I'm not off work this week until like 4 and blah blah blah. And so luckily, they were able to set it up for that Saturday. So, okay, whatever. So we go get the CT scan done of my lungs on Saturday, that first week of school. I honestly, I wasn't really that concerned about it. I had heard people talking about like nodules were kind of normal sometimes and like you could have them, and I don't know, like I'm not a smoker, so I kept just thinking, I'm not a smoker, like how would I have anything wrong with my lung? Maybe it's just something because I have asthma symptoms. You know what I mean? Like I don't know. I did not worry. So that following week, I didn't hear anything on, backtrack. Let me start this again. So that Saturday when I had the CT scan, I wasn't scared when I went. And then when we left, I had this little voice in my head that was just like, you had to go to the ER, you had to get the chest x-ray, this had to be found in time so that you could get treatment. And I had not thought about it. I had not thought that this could be anything. I was not worried at all. Again, not a smoker. Not at all. And don't really drink anymore. Like, haven't really drank in so many years. It's ridiculous. Like, I might have a drink occasionally. And even then, my cheeks turn bright red, so it's not fun. And I get all kinds of hot. But so it was just kind of a moment of, oh God, like, what if God needed me to go have this test done? So I kind of freaked out, started crying in the car and trying not to cry. Yeah, had that moment. Sucking it up, getting through the weekend, go through Monday, no word from my doctor. Tuesday, I called that morning and was just, it had been a week since I'd been at the ER. And I called my doctor's office before I went to work and was just like, hey, you guys, I've not heard anything. What's up? Can someone give me a call and let me know what's going on with the CT results? And then I hadn't heard anything. Like, no one called me that day. And then as I was leaving work that afternoon, I noticed there was a number that I had missed, and it was like a 317, which is Indiana. So I was like, okay, it's probably one of the doctors. And I checked my messages, and I was driving home, mind you, and I checked my messages, and it was from a lung center. And I was just like, hold the phone, what the heck? And immediately was like, I turned around because I was on my way home. And I turned around and was going to go to my doctor's office because I was like, what the heck? Because this lung center place had an appointment for me for that. This was on Tuesday. For like that Thursday, I had to go to this appointment. And I'm just like, what is happening? What's going on? Like, I don't even know what's going on. So as I had turned around and was headed towards the doctor's office, I got a call from my doctor's office, and so I pulled over so that I could figure out what's going on. And my nurse said, Dr. Sweeney wanted to speak with you. Do you have a few moments to talk? And I'm like, yes, I want to talk to him. I was actually just about to drive over there because I don't know what's going on. And she's like, okay, well, he needs to talk to you, so hold on. And she put me through, and I'm just like, my doctor never wants to talk to me, ever. Like, he never calls me. I think I've maybe spoken to him one time on the phone. I don't even know. And, get down. Go. And so I'm just like, what the heck, guys? And so I'm trying to stay calm. I'm trying not to freak out. And he proceeds to tell me that the reason why he hadn't gotten a hold of me was because they had been setting everything up and getting everything going so that I could go meet with this specialist, because the thing that showed up on my CT scan showed that it was not a nodule, but it was a mass, like a cluster of something. And that while there was always that chance that it could just be some sort of scar tissue, that this had a part on it that was big enough to cause alarm. It was 2 centimeters, and we had to go in and do further testing. That I was going to have to go to this appointment, see this doctor, and set up my biopsy. And I'm sitting in a parking lot at a realty office, and I'm just like, what? Because what? Like, how do you even handle this kind of phone call? I don't even know. I don't honestly even know. And so I'm just sitting there, and I'm listening to him talk, and I'm just trying so hard to like focus and not freak out. And I'm sitting there listening to him tell me about how like this is why he hadn't called. So then I'm already freaked out that he's been like for 2 days setting up this appointment and getting my referrals through, because this is a doctor who I'm still waiting on an appointment for my back for the last 2 years. This is not normal. And so I'm just like, oh my gosh, okay. So I'm trying not to freak out. I'm trying to stay calm. I know I just said that. And I'm just like, okay. And I'm listening, and I'm like, but couldn't we just like make the appointment so I don't have to miss work? I mean, I just missed work. Like, I don't want to miss work again, because I had to, or I like was afraid I was going to have to miss work or I had stuff set up or whatever, for my heart. And so I was just like, I don't want to miss the days, and he's like, Kristen, I need you to go to this appointment. This is very, very important. And I was just like, okay. Like, how you're trying to get someone who's like obviously freaking out to like not freak out. So I know he knew I was not doing well. Pretty sure that after we got off the phone that I went into a state of shock. I'm pretty sure. I was shaking so bad. I don't know that I've been like that since like maybe my grandma passed away. Like, I don't know that I've been in that kind of state in a long time. I'm sure I'm probably forgetting another time, but this was legit. Like, my body was definitely in shock, and I had to drive home, which luckily it's only like 5-10 minutes, maybe. But I couldn't. I mean, I had to pull over even after I got out of that parking lot and drove over to one of the roads that gets me to my house, and I couldn't see because I was crying uncontrollably and freaking out because all I could think was biopsy and mass and cluster, and it's in my lung, and it was so much information, and I was seriously spooked. And I called my mom, I called my husband, and then I had to calm myself down because I did not want to like lose it in front of my kids, because I didn't want them to freak out until we knew if we needed to freak out. Yeah, and I legit just like shook and cried and sobbed, ugly sobbing. I called my best friends and was just like freaking out. I just couldn't deal with it. And I just kept thinking, I am not a smoker. Like, I am not a smoker. And yes, I come from like a very polluted area. Yes, everyone that I grew up with smoked around me, and still I have to struggle with people who smoke around me. I don't understand why people want to smoke. It's so gross. I just, the air is polluted, just all these factors, and we have cancer in our family and different things. So I mean, there's obvious scare factor. But I'm not a smoker. Like, I'm an avid non-smoker. I think it is probably the most disgusting thing in the world. Have I ever smoked? Yeah, true story. Yes, I've probably smoked 3 cigarettes in my life, because if I ever was really, really drunk and someone was smoking, I would probably do it, because when I'm really, really drunk, I'm stupid. But I'm not a smoker. I hate it. And so I was just not well. And I got home and I, like I said, just ugly cried, talked to some of my friends, tried to calm down, and was just shaking uncontrollably. Like, just like that nervous, like twitchy, like, it was horrible. But dealt with, like, got calmed down, didn't talk to my kids about it, didn't say anything. And then that was Tuesday, and I had to go to the pulmonologist at the cancer center on Thursday morning. So, okay, let's do this. So Thursday morning we go. We get to the appointment, we meet the team, we meet the doctor. There's literature sitting out when I get into the room about lung cancer, and I'm like, again, just like shaking and trying not to freak out. The doctor comes in, he talked to me. He took in like history, like pets, environment, places I've lived, if I was a smoker, if I was a drinker, all these different things. And he said, the chances of this being cancer are maybe like 5%, because I really truly think that this is going to end up being scar tissue because you have cats and a bird and the places you've lived. And I'm like, okay. That makes me feel better. I feel better. Like, whew, I can breathe. Like, okay, this is good. This is good. That I can handle this. Let's set up the biopsy and figure out what's going on. And so that was on a Thursday. It was set for the following week. The following week, I had my heart scan done, because I remember had this all started with heart pains or chest pains. So I had a heart scan done that Thursday. This is the 3rd week of school. That Thursday morning, I had my stress test done, and I'm pretty sure it was all okay. But can we talk about that for a minute? Like, can we talk about how they couldn't carry the vial of thing that they put in my arm? Because it was radioactive and they had to carry it in a lead box like it was kryptonite. What the heck? Just saying. Like, really? But it went in my blood. Whatever. So I had that done and went back. Everything was fine. Then the following day was my biopsy on the 17th. And so I went to work for half day, went and had my biopsy. We ended up having to have the scope one done where they had to go in through my tube in my throat and down into my lung tubes. And the actual part that they were biopsying is like in my back, kind of like near the bottom of my ribs, like in that part of my lung. And yeah, so I had that done. And we were there from like 1:30 to 7 on Friday. It was forever. I remember coming out of anesthesia because they have to put you under for that, of course. And I remember coming out and just being in pain because of where they had been. I could feel where they had traveled in my lung, and also having trouble breathing. I have a touch of asthma, so I had to have a breathing treatment right away. And because I was hurting, they gave me drugs. So I'm trying to come out of anesthesia, and then they drugged me up some more. So that was really fun. Yeah, so that wasn't very good. I didn't really enjoy that, but whatever. So was kind of sick that weekend, kind of just in pain and just uncomfortable. By that following week, they wanted me to use an inhaler because I was still struggling to breathe. And I really couldn't use the inhaler, it turned out, because it was making me sick. So that was fun. So it was like, I can't breathe, but if I want to breathe, I'm going to get sick. What do I do? And I'm still having that problem. Like right now, I'm kind of fighting like sinus stuff from the weather. And part of me is struggling with breathing. And I kind of need to use an inhaler, but it makes me sick. So I'm not. It's super fun. But so that following week came, and I didn't know how long it was going to take. My biopsy was on the 17th. My next appointment with the pulmonologist was on the 28th. So it was almost 10 days before I knew what was going on. And, or maybe it was 20, I think it was 28th. I don't know. But it took forever, and it was really the longest wait ever. And by the time I've waited so long, like they called me to set up the appointment to go in to get the results, and I remember thinking, can't you just tell me like over the phone? And I was sick, I didn't feel good, I could still just I just felt like irritation from where they had been inside my lungs, and I was just struggling with like feeling sick at my stomach and everything. So it was just really unpleasant. And then we went in for the results. Now, in the meantime, we did finally talk to our kids about like what was going on with the big kids, why I was having a biopsy and stuff, because we felt like we didn't have to worry. But after the biopsy, I'll be honest, I was more nervous because he talked about something about my lymph nodes being messed up and my lung. I swear that's what he told us. But then again, I was highly drugged, so maybe not. But Tony thought that's what he said too. And so I remember thinking, like, if your lymph nodes are swollen or messed up, that usually isn't a good sign, because our lymph nodes are what, like, they react to when we have infections and stuff. And then I started freaking out because I have one that's always inflamed. And I was like, oh God, like, what if that's a sign? You know, like, your mind goes places. So it was a struggle waiting that 10 days for the results. And my kids, you know, we just reassured them that it was going to be okay, and we, you know, everything was going to be fine, but definitely started like really worrying. And by the time we got in there and got the results, I'll be honest, when he told us it was just a granuloma, is that how you say it? Granuloma, I think. It's scar tissue, basically. I was like, tell people this over the phone. Like, don't make us come in. Oh my gosh. So it was a lot last month. The whole month of August was just the worst month for me, which is so not how you want to spend the first month back at work. I'll tell you, to be honest, it was stressful. And I had people trying to like not let me be worried, but you can't help when you have a history of health issues in your family but be worried. And you can't help but also think, because you have that history in your family and you haven't really had too much wrong with you, it's your turn. Like, I just couldn't help it. And I think part of me, I'm the type of person who would rather prepare myself for the worst and be happy with better news than not expect anything to be wrong and then get told bad news. So I'd really like to just be prepared for, you know, like I need to go through that to get through it, to know. Can you stop licking me? I am not your dessert. Crazy dog. But it was just such a long month, and we're very happy that it's scar tissue. As far as they know, there was no cancer cells. Everything looked fine. I'm going again next month to get another CT scan. As long as it stays the same size and shape and everything like that, we're good. If it changes, we'll have to have a second biopsy done. If it's the same in October, then we go like 6 months, and then like a year, and then like 2 years or something. So hopefully everything is fine. It was a lot. It was a lot. And it definitely kept me preoccupied, and it also made me very emotional. And that's why I think the Christopher Robin post was kind of a little extra emotional, because honestly, with everything that's going on back home, with people who I love being sick again and struggling with things that are out of our hands, and me not being able to get home, it's just hard. And then to think that I was sick, I'll be honest, I didn't want to tell anyone back home that it was something. So I'm glad it was not something. They have enough to worry about. But it was just a lot, and I did share this on my Facebook page, but I didn't know if I wanted to do a video here about it. And then I thought, you know what? No, like, this is my therapy. This is my channel to share with you my thoughts and what's going on. And I thought, this is what was going on, and this is why I've been kind of missing out on making videos. So I thought y'all deserve to know what was really going on. And those of you who have heard the story before, now you have all the pieces all in one spot. So very happy with the results so far. I'm feeling better. I actually did just, it's really funny. Like, I didn't have chest pain at all after that CT scan back the first week or whatever. But it did start happening again. So I do believe that it's probably related to my neck more now, because recently when it started, I noticed when I turned my head a certain way, it got worse. So I'm thinking there's something going on there. Too bad my insurance doesn't cover chiropractic care. So if you know of a good one in the Greenwood area, though, let me know. I might look into it. Might be worth it. But that's the funny part, is I actually have been trying to get in to see a doctor like at ortho for my neck and my back for a year. So the fact that all of that stuff got taken care of within days was amazing to me. And I'm thinking, you guys do realize that pain is also important. Like, let's get rid of some of the pain, but I'm still working on it. I'm very thankful of my friends and family who were helping me out through that time. I had people who were taking care of my son during that time. I had people who were just praying for me and just praying with me and just everything, like, and just checking on me. Even people at my work who, we may not be the closest of friends at work because we don't see each other often, but it was so encouraging to have people like really genuinely caring about how I was. And still, even today at church, someone was like, I'm so glad that everything was okay. And it's just so sweet, because I'm not from here. I don't have family here. And so to have people do that, it just really helps you remember that you're not alone. And it was so sweet. So I'm very thankful of those people. And I hope that you all will watch this and understand that that's what was going on. I am going to share 2 videos today because I was missing. So hopefully I'll get back on track and keep up with this. My other video is about dreams and goals, and this was one of my goals. So I don't want to break my promise to myself to do this channel. So I'm working on it. Now, we have gone almost 30 minutes of talking. I'm going to go and spend time with my husband before Sunday is over. But thank you guys for watching. And I hope if any of you are going through similar things, that you will seek out help, fight for your health, and don't give up, okay? And blessings to all of you.